Dulat Issabekov is a special name in our contemporary classic literature. It is a person who has gently contributed to the development and prosperity of Kazakh dramatic art. Issabekov is a laureate of a state prize of the Republic of Kazakhstan, holder of Kurmiyat, Order and Platinum Tarlan Award, International Pen Club laureate. He is known as a writer and a playwright in Kazakhstan and abroad. His works are being actively promoted and are popular in many different countries. Issabekov's plays are successfully staged. The Festival of Songbirds in St. Petersburg, Two Encounters in the Old House in Omsk, The Elder Sister in Dushanbe, The Hares in a Korean theater. Some of his plays are also staged in Lermontov Theater in Almaty. During his business trip to London, the writer initiated a creation of Writers' Association for World Without War. Makbal Musa is a poet, member of the Union of Writers and Journalists of Kazakhstan. She is the winner of Jansugurov and Makataev Republican contest. Apart from this, she won the first prize of the Republican Altyn Tolbilgi contest, organized by the Foundation of Kazakhstan's first president. Also, Makbal is a winner of 100 New Faces of Kazakhstan project. Dulat Issabekov is a genuine classic. For more than 50 years, his works bring joy to the readers. It all started in 1963, when he has written his first story, En route, that became his initial step in writing career. The author himself is en route to his readers, to the constant quest for truth, searching for new images and characters. Dulat Issabekov was born on the 20th of December, 1940 in Sayram region, South Kazakhstan. He has graduated from Kazakh State University. He worked as a senior editor at Kazakh Radio, Drama and Literature Broadcast. Then as a senior editor and later head of Zazusha Publishing House, head of editorial offices of various literary magazines. Issabekov worked as an editor-in-chief at the Ministry of Culture Collegium. He was a director of Kazakh Television, secretary of the Union of Writers of Kazakhstan, and managed Kazakh Institute of Culture. Today, Dulat Issabekov works as an editor-in-chief at Madaniyat magazine. Issabekov works in different genres and styles. He writes movie scenarios and numerous film versions of his own works were made. In my childhood, I was fond of a movie called Gaurhatas that was based on his book. It is a beautiful and touching film that is loved not just by me, but by many viewers, and today it is a part of Kazakh Gold Movie Fund. I love Dulat Issabekov's works from my days of youth, and I have read his novel Turmoil many times. I remember that I was sick in love with his protagonist Jasun. And for many years, I was trying to find his features and personality traits in other young men. Of course, it is almost impossible to find a boy like Jasun in real life. He is reasonable, honest, fair. His intentions are always good. He is not afraid of being straightforward. Isn't it a great example for young men? A person who is stuck in his everyday routine and is worried about his daily bread, looking for material values. He can forget about his destiny on this earth, about his mission granted to him by God. He can scatter his feelings around. That is why writers are important. They can revive a person, help him to remember about his lost values, awaken in him sprouts of goodness, kindness, friendship, mutual understanding, and love. And Dulat Issabekov in one of them. The novel that won hearts of many readers tells a story of a true love. The story unfolds in Almaty. The city becomes an involuntary witness of warm feelings, sincere desires, and ardent passion. Many young people find their soulmates here. The novel's protagonist, famous and experienced young writer with progressive world outlook, Jasun Madiev, and a young first-year student, Bagila, who grew up in a village in a family of local akim. The girl who grew up in a wealthy and loving family knows her own worth.
Ayala өсірген ерке қызы.
Bagila and Jasin meet on the train on the very day when the girl's father, head of the Karatai region, takes her to Almaty to study. The moment father and daughter occupied their seats, Jasin entered the compartment with an armful of newspapers and magazines. The fate brought them together in one compartment. The Akim's assistants did not like this. They began to demand the young girl companion to move to another compartment. Jasin, after some hesitation, agreed and, leaving the compartment, said, "Good, I will do this for you. I pity you." In the meantime, the girl finds a piece of paper on the floor of the compartment, a paper that young writer has dropped. On that sheet, he has written his comments on the world classic books, some hot topics, criticized historical figures, expressing opinions that contradict generally accepted norms. Bagila read these notes and realized how deep his knowledge is and how extraordinary are his thoughts. She felt as if her own worldview has changed, as if she entered a door to a different world. When describing his protagonist, Dulat Issabekov has said the following: "All my characters are based on real people. Of course, you can't see someone's life story as a whole, but there are plenty of things around you that can become future novels' plots." Prototype of Jasin Turmoil, novel's protagonist is Askar Suleimanov. I am saying this after 38 long years that have passed since the novel was written. Jasin is a collective image, but even then, I was telling Askar Suleimanov, I am writing a documentary novel about you. Jasin's attitude to Bagila wasn't steady and calm. It was emotional and impulsive. Excited Jasin was saying words that hurt Bagila's dignity. She has arrived at Almaty confused. She was supposed to start her studies in a big city, get a new, interesting life, and yet she couldn't forget about a young man of a controversial and complex personality. Even despite the fact that his works hurt her like a sharp knife and his actions didn't make any sense. They have encountered each other again in a year. The rain was pouring and Bagila hailed a cab. She got in a car without casting a glance at a passenger sitting inside and told the driver her address. And then she heard a familiar voice saying, "Hello." It was the same young man whom she had turned out from a compartment last summer. He asked her to return back his sheet of paper that he left on the train. He wasn't asking, he was demanding, expressing his demand with fervent words. "I don't want to leave not just a piece of paper, but even a sole of my old shoes in a possession of people who I find unpleasant." How proud he is. These venomous words hurt the girl, but have awakened her feelings even more. From the outside, it looked like they were loathing each other. However, an invisible bond has linked them. Next day, Bagila has brought him his sheet of paper. That was the start of their relationship. The writer skillfully described how their feelings were developing and how their lives have changed after they met each other. The author managed to transmit characters' personalities, their morals, and describe Jasin's loneliness, his spiritual pride, and spirit of contradiction to the societal norms. The book is entirely dedicated to the love story, Bagila's love story. The novel's narrative consists of her thoughts, hesitations, and attempts to solve the problem. The writer introduced lots of minor characters into his novel, who helped him to fully unravel the image of his protagonist. This makes the readers literally dive into narration of a young girl's life, and that's what makes the whole novel so breathtaking. It is a unique story, and you will never find anything similar in other authors' works. Talking about a passion like this, Mukhtar Shakhanov once said, "The true love is an encounter of two people happening at an unattainable height." Once caught in the nets of love, Bagila cannot sleep at nights. She can only be candid with Malika. She tells her about her feelings. For her, Jasin is a true intelligent person with a great taste, erudite, a man who is rarely met in Kazakh society. His knowledge is astounding. When he debates with historians, he is a history expert. When he debates with musicians, he is an expert in music. When he argues with artists, he is an arts expert. And even the love he perceives differently. Over time, Bagila started to understand that Jasin is lonely, that he is always searching for something. His inner world is full of contradictions, and he has no one to confide with, no one who would value his intelligence. Hence are his emotional breakdowns and venomous remarks that conceal his true feelings, full of struggle and turmoil. His aspirations for new and pure, beautiful and genuine. To love a person like this is a trial, but Bagila is happy.
болғанмен ол оны бақытына балады. Осылай күндер жалғасып,
Day after day, and Bagila has blossomed with love. All men around her were falling in love with her beauty. Artists painted her and gave her portraits. Her father's assistant wrote to her every day. Poet Serbota waited for Bagila near her house at any weather. And still, only Jasin was in her heart and in her thoughts. For her, it was a great happiness to be with him, to talk to him, and even sit in silence. Sometimes they would quarrel and not talk to each other for months on end. For her, that would be a complete waste of life and time. On days like this, Bagila was literally pinning away because of love and melancholy.
ғашықтық дертінен жүдеп-ақ кетті.
In order to get rid of love melancholy, Bagila and her Jingye are leaving to Yalta for vacation. But she is only getting worse. She urgently needs a remedy for her overwhelming feelings. Jingye Malika calls Jasin and he immediately comes to Yalta. They are having their last conversation. A few hours later, Jasin, who is confused and full of hesitations, returns back to Almaty. A dense green forest is seen under the wing of the plane. What will happen now? Where will Jasin head to once his plane lands? The story ends at its culmination. The readers are sending tons of letters to the author with their suggestions on how the novel can be continued.
Жазушыға толассыз сауалдар жолдаған. Тіпті жалғасын жазыңыз деп те өтінген екен.
Author has said everything he wanted. He finished this love story without grounding it. If he did that, an everyday routine would kick in. Let's say they got married. What would have changed? For a true love, marriage is not a goal. Even better if lovers don't end up getting married. That is the core idea of my novel. I wanted to say that a true love can only happen once and forever. I didn't want to make this love story a bookmark in a marriage registration book. It would be a true ordeal for my characters. We can't command our hearts to love, and we can't hobble the love. He loves her, but he has family at home, a wife and kids. He could have betrayed them for love, but he wouldn't. He isn't like this. The value of this novel is in the struggle that is described on its pages. The struggle of a man who fights with himself and with the world around him, whose mind and feelings are in constant contradiction, an eternal fight of the opposites that will never cross because they flow in different channels. You make a choice, and it affects the interest and feelings of another. What to do? That is the core idea of the novel. Jasin is an intelligent, enlightened, open-minded person. But nevertheless, he cannot fit in the world and in the society. He is in a constant quest for something and is full of contradictions. But the writer, describing Jasin, doesn't give him the opportunity to reveal his internal struggle and leaves him to cope on his own. This is how the author emphasizes that there is no end to the quest of human nature. But there are clear boundaries in society. I like Jasin's character. He is a person who constantly contradicts the society. He sees clashes of interests of its certain representatives, while experiencing bitterness and disappointment in the imperfection of this world. Jasin can't accept this. It is beyond him. Listen to him saying, "I don't like well-fed people. For them, common people, art or global changes in the world do not exist. They don't even need tomorrow." These are deep words. They sink into the soul. And here's what I'm thinking after reading this novel. Why are the protagonists so unhappy? Why they think so differently? What had made such a great influence on their self-awareness? You should try to find answers to these questions. You should read Turmoil.